Welcome back to you, the hard forking audience. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome along as well. And most importantly, Blue, great to see you again. It's been a couple of weeks. We've both traveled halfway around the world to set up in new countries for the time being. Hope that's going well for you.
So far, so good.
So far,
How's it going for you?
Yeah, interesting. Lots of interesting things happening at the moment. The market is extremely interesting. So we obviously felt the need to jump on, do a short video. Last time we spoke, you were rather bullish. Are you back to Blue the Bull? Let's jump into a chart. Tell the people what you think's going on.
Sure. My bias has not changed. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. I will remain bullish until I have a reason not to be. So,
give me that reason. Give me that reason. At what price point should we panic?
All right, let's just go straight to it. At what price point do you panic is when we have a weekly candle close below this price right here. Boom, 43,184, 43.2. Get a weekly candle close below 43.2.
43.2.
Everybody just became
New York time on a Sunday. Is that what we're saying?
It's UTC.
Okay.
So it's at the, if you just go to the weekly chart, we have 2 days and 7 hours until our next weekly close. But we're holding support so far. Yep. I'm not worried at this point. I'm confident that we're going to close the week above that level. And I think we're going to bounce. I think that, this is just a natural swing low that has resulted in a higher high. I'll go through this whole consolidation from a Wyckoff point of view. We have been basically trading sideways for a year. I'm sure it doesn't feel like that for a lot of people, but when I'm looking at this structure overall, we've been range bound for exactly 343 days. So basically a year of sideways chop, big chop, volatile chop, but chop nonetheless. We have not been in a trending market to the upside for about a year now. This is a really good accumulation structure. It's, to be fair, it's one of the weaker accumulation structures. This is what's referred to in Wyckoff as a reaccumulation after decline. So this is an accumulative range that occurs after a distribution event. So we had a distribution take place here. This was a very nasty shakeout that happened back in May. And since that shakeout, we have been in a very tight accumulation range. We had a tight, maybe month-long accumulation. How long was this accumulation? Yeah, we had a 2-month-long, 60-day accumulation on the bottom here. And then we've had a nice, tight, trending market to the upside as we're leaving this range. Now, this is a very important thing to consider when we look at this chart. This is Bitcoin's index chart, which is most of its history here. We have this super important line in the sand for me. This is a very important level to pay attention to. There's a ton of confluence on this level. This has been a support/resistance area for the last year. It was originally our resistance level coming into our preliminary supply. We bounced off it as support here. We hesitated before falling through the floor here. It was resistance here, support, and we're trying to prove that support level as it stands right now. A break below this will be in confluence with what I'm looking for the bearish side on a weekly close. So a break below this support level, the support level of this box that I have marked, the low of that is 42,000. So still very confluent with that area that I'm looking at on the weekly. So it's do or die. I think if we fall below this, we're in a bear market. Structurally, it's going to be really, really terrible. It's because we're going to be looking at a double top formation that's losing key support. Like I said, I'm bullish until proven otherwise. As it stands right now, we have not broken that, and I'm happy to accumulate above this level. If I'm up here, I'm bullish. If I'm down here, I'm bearish. So we
Mm.
really do need to put up or shut up. I do have the 200 period moving average marked on this chart here. This is typically the area where you're going to decide whether we are in a bull market or a bear market. We're currently on top of it, so we're in a bull market, and we're currently holding it as support, and there's a lot of demand coming in at this general area. If I turn on the RSI and turn on the line chart for Bitcoin, there is a bit of a divergence occurring, which is, I don't play divergences by themselves, but when I'm looking at an area of key support and I begin to see a divergence, for those who are new and don't really know what a divergence is, it's when the price action and your oscillator, in this case I'm using an RSI, um, is in disagreement. So you can see how we have a series of higher lows on the RSI and a series of lower lows on the price.
Mhm.
It's showing that there's an increasing amount of effort and there's an increasing amount of buy pressure occurring at that level of support. So we have the key level of support based on this support slash resistance flip that we've been, defining over the last year. We have a support at the 200 moving average, the 200 period moving average, which is that decider of bullish slash bearish, bull market slash bear market. And we have a divergence occurring at that key support. So there's a lot to lean on to the bear side. There's a lot to lean on the bull side. If I'm to pick a side, I'm going to pick continuation of the macro trend. We are in a macro higher high, higher low structure. So I would be, positioning to the long side.
Right. Okay. So the key figure that we're looking at here is that weekly close coming up 2 days roughly from now. We'll jump back on and be making some content on that day for you people. Okay. So bit of a no trade zone in a way, I guess, for many people right now, if you're neutral.
This is a support.
Yeah.
If you are going to take a trade, the trade that you would be taking would be a long trade. You would take this to the long side. We have max fear in the markets right now.
Yep.
That will affect the volume and the liquidity in the markets overall, as there's less participants willing to participate in the market. So the volume is going to be less. But we're at a very critical support. And Bitcoin's a bullish asset, and we have narratives of inflation, and we have narratives of money printing. So, number go up, man, up and to the right. That's all we do.
Yep.
If you zoom out far enough, it's all we do.
Yes, I agree. It's just an interesting time of the year. Lots of talk throughout the year about figures of 120, 140K in December. Surprised that didn't
Not
happen.
happening. It's not happening this December. Sorry. If it did, it'd be over anyway. So you wouldn't want to see that regardless.
Yeah.
But it's just not happening. Not at this point.
Okay, short and sweet tonight, people. But could you give us your thoughts on ETH and the alts in general?
Sure. Yeah. So ETH is fantastic, really, really good, and it's holding a lot of resiliency from a structural point of view compared to Bitcoin. It's stronger than Bitcoin. It's more bullish than Bitcoin. It's well above the 200 period moving average here on the daily. Its structure has been much more. It's been holding its structure at a higher level when compared to Bitcoin. We're struggling to get above this macro resistance here at the previous all-time high. It looks like there is a possibility that we lose it. So if Bitcoin does go bearish, I would be expecting Ethereum to drop back down to the $3,000 zone, kind of this order block area right here. So I'd be looking anywhere from basically $3,100 to $2,800 Ethereum, but that hasn't occurred yet, and Bitcoin's sitting at support. So this could be a pivot high point. We could see a pivot here in Ethereum. What you're going to want to see is just a break of basically the last high. So if you see price above, close a daily candle above 4,400, we'll call it 4,500 just to be safe. You see ETH closing above 4,500 on the daily. That's going to be a very clear signal to the market that we are bullish and we're ready to, hit up 5 grand. We'll be at 5 grand in no time. Very noteworthy on Ethereum, and I'm gonna have to, give a shout out to Cold Blooded Chiller, a fellow Twitch streamer out there. If you're not following him, his approach is very simple, which is why I like it. TA does not have to be super complex, but basically he made a very good point that ETH is dancing with all-time high levels here. So when you look at any other altcoin, let's go ahead and take a look at, we'll say Matic, for example. Matic is in a bullish posture, but he makes a very good point. Man, you know what? Matic's actually looking better than the point I was trying to make. Let's look at something else. Let's look at, let's say, Link. We'll look at Chainlink. So Chainlink, we'll go back to ETH for a sec. Let's say ETH goes to 5 grand. From here, that's basically, 5 grand. We're looking at about a 30% move to the upside. Once we achieve that 30% move to the upside, we're in blue sky breakout territory. There is no overhead resistance on the ETH trade. If you go and take a look at something like Chainlink and we get a 30% move to the upside, well, 30% move to the upside on Chainlink just throws you right into a resistance point. So as far as where the health or the success or the possibility of continuation lies, ETH is the best trade we have, because ETH is the closest to blue sky breakout territory. Bitcoin not that far behind, but when you look at all the other altcoins, altcoins have a lot of resistance points to overtake. They typically do when Bitcoin and ETH are bullish. But as far as a short-term continuation signal to the market that we are truly bullish and truly ready for an altcoin season, it's going to be a rally in ETH, in my opinion.
Yep. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. You, the community, we just wanted to jump on, put a short bit of content out for you today. We'll be back in full swing in the coming days. We're also doing a number of trading guides together for our new website. Please go check that out, hardforking.com. Links below to Baloo's content as well. Thank you, sir. Interesting times. Hopefully Santa brings us all a nice gift. I'm not
Santa
holding
Claus
my breath.
rally.
Santa Claus rally.
I think I think we're setting up for, if we remain kind of neutral into next year and then spark a bull market, now we have kind of, we've got more time to deal with. If we rallied into the end of the year, that's kind of an end of year signal that maybe the cycle may be concluding. So if we continue to trade sideways here and just go into next year, now we don't have that psychological time barrier of a new year. So absolutely. I think it'll be a good thing. Yeah,
absolutely. I couldn't agree more. We're also looking at a scenario of a lot of, the bigger players with capital to deploy. They got new budgets in the new year. Let's see. I'm fascinated. I'm still bullish, still very positive. Yep. Okay, buddy. It's been great to jump on with you briefly this evening. We'll get back to more regular content. And as I say, we're also making some trading how-to guides for you on the different exchanges. You can check that out in the coming days. Great to see you all again. See you in the next couple of days. Cheers now.
Have a good one.